All right. I'm going to call this meeting back into regular order. Mr. City Attorney, could you report out from the closed session?
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and Community. This evening, the City Council met in closed session at 5 o'clock to take up one item of anticipated litigation and received updates from and provided direction to legal counsel and took no other reportable action.
Okay, we are going to adjourn to our regular meeting and at this point have a roll call.
Councilmember Gatewood.
Here.
Councilmember Budge.
Here.
Councilmember Terry.
Here.
Vice Mayor Pulapati.
Here.
Mayor Sander.
Here. City Clerk, I think you have a meetings video announcement.
Yes, the meeting of the Rancho Cordova City Council will be cablecast on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Uverse cable systems. The meeting is closed captioned and webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will replay on Thursday, February 8th at 9 a.m. and Sunday, February 11th at 6 p.m. The meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. A DVD copy can also be ordered from the City Clerk's Department, and a webcast of this meeting will be available on the city's website within 48 hours of adjournment of this meeting.
Very good. Next up, Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. I see Shelley Blanchard in the back of the room. If you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We will then have Pastor Elizabeth Brick with United Methodist Church lead us in an invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks so much for allowing me to do this virtually with you. Places at one time, so thank you. Please pray with me. Thank you, God, for this beautiful day, for bringing us through the storm. And as we assess the damage, help us to help each other out. And guide us tonight as we begin the work of the City Council. Help us to be good listeners, thoughtful responders, and eloquent in our speech. Remind us that we are a community united in the common cause of a greater good for all the people of Rancho Cordova. We are here to serve and care for one another. In your many names, we lift this prayer tonight. Amen.
All right, very good. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Pastor. We are going to go on to presentations, and I think we have someone about to have a birthday among us.
I'm still the youngest.
And it's apparently a very substantial birthday.
What are you turning? 45.
It's all downhill from
I am
here.
still the youngest council member on this council. I recall the first call I ever got from my new colleague over there, and talking about the election. I go, whoa, no, we got to talk about something first. When were you born? Just so I can make sure I am still the youngest on this council. But thank you, 45.
All right, do it, David.
Very good. So normally we have the 45-year-olds do a special dance right here in the middle.
Nice.
Donald has declined due to an apparent injury. So instead, we're going to sing him happy birthday. We're going to sing him happy birthday. So, are we ready?
Ready.
All together?
Thank you for everyone showing up for this.
Yeah. We're going to have a nice chorus here. We got the baritone section, we got the altos here.
Wow.
We're good to go. All right. Are we ready?
Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Donald. Happy birthday to you.
Woo! So do we have cake or something out there? Or?
We don't.
Oh,
We don't have cake.
no
What?
cake.
Surprise.
But you all did get here a little early today for the special meeting at 3:30, and there were a few macaroons and a little cupcake.
All right, I see. It was the macaroon birthday. All right, excellent. Okay, so anybody else turning 45? I don't see any, so we're going to move on to public comment. Citizens wishing to address the council for any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time by teleconference or by completing and submitting a speaker card to the city clerk. If you want to make a public comment via teleconference, please use the raised hand feature at the bottom center of your screen. If you're participating by telephone and you want to make a public comment, please press *9 to raise your hand. For those participating by Zoom or telephone, please wait to be called on by the city clerk. For items on the agenda, speakers will be called up by me at the point in the agenda when that item will be heard. Speakers are encouraged to keep their comments to 3 minutes or less and to state their name and community of residence. Note that under provisions of the California Government Code, the City Council is prohibited from discussing or taking immediate action on any item not on the agenda unless it can be demonstrated to be of an emergency nature or the need to take immediate action arose after the posting of the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
Yes, we do. We will start with individuals who are here in the council chambers. We'll start with Sandy M. Following Sandy will be Beatrice, Dave Capizano, and Debbie Woolley, James Garcia, and Helen Whalen Bashaw. Sandy, are you in the room? Sandy M?
I have a request. I submitted 3 cards together and we wanted to go in tandem. So Sandy, Debbie, and then Dave. We can let someone else go first if you'd rather.
Sandy, Dave, and Debbie. Okay, that's fine. Do you want to?
Oh, do you want us to go now? Okay.
Are you collectively going or?
No, just one at a time.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
so you'll,
honor the time, obviously, yes.
okay, you're Sandy M.
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council.
Just a moment. Okay,
My name is Sandy M., and I'm a constituent here in the state of California. Thank you for being here. We are coming to you this evening in peace as we the people to give you notice and instructions so that you and your agents may provide due care. This national lockdown notice has already been given to 50 state governors, to the President of the United States, to the Supreme Court, to the United States Senate, and the United States Congress. We are now giving you a copy. This week, we learned that the federal government, in alignment with the World Health Organization, has announced an amendment to a credible threat of a public health emergency. Their expanding countermeasures now include both Ebola and Marburg viruses. An extension of liability immunity to manufacturers, distributors, program planners, qualified persons, and their officials, agents, and employees. We have included this report in our notice envelope just given to you. We have also learned that the government was never granted any authority to lock down the people, even in times of emergency. The main object of government is the protection and preservation of personal rights, private property, and public liberties. The government just serves for our benefit as public officers, trustees, and servants of the people. We are also attaching a list of unalienable rights, which includes the right to accept or refuse any medical treatment for any reason. Since this council has a history of putting the city under health emergency orders for extended periods of time, we are very concerned that another round of involuntary lockdowns and health orders could occur in our fair county.
Hi, I'm Debbie W., and I'm with We the People. Please take notice that all states in our Republican form of government have sworn to protect individual liberty as a condition to be hired as trustees. The people of America are all guaranteed to have the same rights in all the states. As an elected official, Do you believe it's your duty to always protect the natural rights of the people so they are guaranteed enjoyment of all their natural rights? Or do you believe that in some time of panic or emergency that you can remove the people's rights to freely exercise liberty, movement, worship, commerce, or any other purpose that is lawful? If so, please show the constitutional authority where you get that power, posting this granted authority conspicuously within the next 15 days, notifying the public and all agents. If you cannot show where you got that authority, and you take any action blocking the people's rights to enjoy freedom, then any lockdown, mandate, or forced use of any medical device will be construed as being done with malice, intent, full knowledge and understanding against your trust indenture, your contract with the people. That would be the Constitution. This notice is given to you in peace and with the love of Christ, that you and your agents may provide due care to those who have all political power, the people.
Hello, I'm Dave C. And I would like to thank the mayor and the vice mayor and the city council for your hard work and dedication to the city of Rancho Cordova. Thank you very much.
Next is James Garcia. I'm sorry, let's go with Beatrice. Thank you. Beatrice, and then James Garcia and Helen Whalen Bashaw.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Beatrice Morales. I'm a 16-year carpenter working for Local 46. I stand before you today to discuss an imperative aspect of our community's growth, the housing element. As we strive to address the pressing issue of housing, it's paramount that we also champion the rights and standards of our labor force, the backbone of our city's prosperity. This includes ensuring a livable wage, providing essential health care benefits, fostering apprenticeship programs, and prioritizing local hires. These measures not only fortify the well-being of our workers, but also create a stronger, more vibrant community. Together, let's not only build homes, but also a city that thrives on principles of equity and opportunity for all. Thank you.
Hopefully you guys can hear me because it's been really hard for us to hear people in the back. But I'm James Garcia, resident of Stone Creek. I'm here to actually thank the City Council for attending the last Folsom Cordova Unified School District meeting that was done for the feasibility study of possibly splitting the district. I am in favor of you bringing this forward as an agenda item, as kind of was mentioned at that meeting. So I'd really hope that you consider that, bringing it forward so we can discuss as a community if we all want to go forward with it. I'm in favor of it because, again, I do believe that we have been the stepchild of the district, and I would like to see this council go forward and bring the resolution to go ahead and get that started. So again, thank you for attending that and all your input on that, and hopefully you do bring this forward, one of you. Thanks.
Greetings, I am Helen Whalen Bashaw. I live over off of Tierra Grande. I'm here to, a little pet peeve, I keep talking to certain people up there. We need to do something with the speaker system in here. We can't hear many of you up there because your mics are over here. You're not talking into the mics. I found the first three speakers very difficult to hear because I heard noise from up here, but the audio was atrocious. So I think we need to have mic checks before, whether you need to reposition the mics that you have, because many presentations, I try to follow the words, but sometimes we get the little message that it's not audible, and not everybody talks loud and clear. Some people talk down, and your mics aren't picking you up. And I think everything you have to say is worthy for us to hear. And I only wish we could do more with the audio here in the room. Thank you.
Yes, the city clerk's office also received general public comment via email, and these have been distributed to the city council. They've been printed for those who are here in the council chambers in a binder in the back of the room, and they have been placed on the city's website for review. 4 individuals submitted general public comment. Those were from Kate Amar, Valerie Knipschild, Larry Ladd, and Jim Garcia. I'm now going to go to Zoom, and our first speaker is Andy. Andy. If you're there, you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very, very clearly.
All right, great, thank you. I have a little speech here. It's about the First Amendment and respecting protected speech. When the city government cuts off unpopular speech, they're setting up the city to be sued and held financially liable. For First Amendment violations, a man in Los Angeles was awarded $215,000 for having his rights to address the council cut off while wearing a Klanman attire. Hopefully these lawsuits will force the city governments to honor the rights of the people. Regardless if you like the opinions of the public or not, you must let them share their statements. The Supreme Court has ruled that there are no hate speech exemptions to the First Amendment. A public forum cannot cut off speech that is offensive, hateful, racist, etc. As long as the comments are protected speech, you must let them have their voice. Restricting free speech is a dangerous path. Without the option, how else are people expected to address their grievances? Doing so is a serious offense and disservice to the oath you took to benefit the city. I encourage everyone who has the ability to peacefully exercise their amendment to file a lawsuit against the city. I've contacted legal counsel will not stand for censoring legal speech. Just because a bunch of anti-American Jews want to silence the speech doesn't mean we'll stay quiet. The people are waking up and know that these parasites operate. It's not a secret that the Jews hate us. That
I think we're done. I think we're done.
That's anti-Semitism.
Turn it off.
They use the Justice Department to sic law
Adam?
enforcement on political opposition.
Adam? Is
Bye,
that-
Andy.
Is it acceptable to edit speech in that particular case?
If the speaker was engaging in hate speech, you have a right, but the speaker, it appears, was about to conclude his comments. Are you done, sir?
I have just a little bit more to say. I can wrap it up.
Continue.
You have to serve somebody, and you either are on the side of God and love, or you follow the Jews to hell with their worship
Sure.
of money, hate, and pedophilia. Go to gtvflyers.com to learn more about the Jews. They're baby penis sucking vampires.
Sure.
I think we graduated.
I think you're done.
I have more.
No,
My
you don't.
message
No,
to
at that
media-
point,
you don't.
At that point, you're done. Unbelievable. It's almost so bad you think it's a joke.
It is a joke.
I mean, there have been councils that have been inundated with comments like this, particularly in Zoom meetings. We've actually had discussions about it. I don't know if this is one of those. But I'm sorry everyone had to hear that. I'm sorry that was broadcast. Adam, I appreciate your just, charting out where that, the right of free speech begins and ends. I think we made the right call with regard to when we cut it off. All right. Do we have more public comment?
We do. Fred? Fred, are you
Good
there?
evening. Pardon me?
Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Thank you.
Alrighty, hi. My name is Fred Leuchter. I would like to kind of give a little bit more information than what that first lady spoke about in real life regarding the COVID lockdowns. A problem that I had with the COVID lockdowns and the agenda as a whole is that it was a very small group of people. They weren't acting on the behest of the American population. They were acting on their own to line their pockets, basically, because, you see that the Moderna CEO, the Moderna chief scientist, the Pfizer chief scientist, the head of Pfizer, the CDC director, the CDC deputy director, the CDC chief of staff, the COVID czar, the COVID senior advisor, the chief medical officer for Johnson & Johnson, the chief medical officer for Merck, Then along with BlackRock and Vanguard, the main people that fund Pfizer and GlaxoSmithKline, as well as the media, now all these people are connected to a group that practices Metsitsa Bapa. And if you go to nyc.gov and look up oral suction, you'll see that rabbis put their mouth on children's genitals, an 8-day-old baby boy. So I would like the city to say that to outlaw that. We do not want that in Rancho Cordova. We do not support Jews sucking baby penis. That is pedophilia. The last thing I'd like to say is 96% of the media is owned by 6 Jewish corporations. So I would like us to get out underneath the heel of this Jewish supremacy, or this Jewish supremacist domination that we're under. After they toppled Russia, a lot of them moved here, the Bolsheviks. They were funded out of New York by, what was his name? Jacob Schiff, Adam Schiff's uncle. So I'd like people to look into the Bolsheviks and how the communists won World War II and we lost it. And that's why boys are having their genitals cut off and young ladies are cutting their breasts off to become transgenders. I don't agree with any of that. And I don't think it's hateful to say that I disapprove of that practice. And I think it's child abuse, the same as race mixing is child abuse. These are just my opinions. I don't hate anybody. Adolf Hitler said the love of one's race does not imply malice for another. That's all I had to say. Thank you for giving me my time. Good evening.
So, ladies and gentlemen who are here, I apologize again. We live in a democracy that requires a certain amount of free speech. Try to discriminate exactly what that is. We have had a debate here before about calls like this that are happening all over the state. This council chose to keep ourselves open to comment from afar, as that was, because we felt like our residents who were at home using Zoom and telephones to communicate with the council was a good thing. Unfortunately, what you've just witnessed is a byproduct of that openness on our part and trying to accommodate the need of our residents who couldn't necessarily get here to a meeting. So perhaps this is the price of free speech. I can certainly tell you that I can speak for the council, I think, that none of us condone anything that you just heard from those 2 speakers. I find it abhorrent and disgusting, and I'm horrified that it happened here. And if there was legally a way to do something other than allow it to continue until it got to a point we could legally cut it off, I would have done that. We are open to all points of view at the same time, as long as you do not verge into hate speech, which is prohibited under the Constitution. We are open to all creeds, all races, all beliefs. We do not exclude anyone based on any of those criteria or other criteria. But this is a challenge that a lot of governments are facing in the state, and I guess we will probably re-examine our policy on that. Personally, I think it would be a horrible shame if a lot of our residents lost the ability to communicate with us during a meeting because of idiots like this who choose to take advantage of a situation where free speech is allowed. So, my colleagues, do you want to add anything to that?
No, we applaud you.
Do we have any more public comment?
Yes, we do. Phil Barber. Phil, you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak. Phil, are you there?
Hello, Council. Thank you for your time. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to note that I haven't heard anything tonight about the fact that it's Black History Month, which I think is a shame since we have so many African American residents here in Rancho Cordova. So I just wanted to list off a few accomplishments from the Black community. They contribute, although they're only 13% of the population, they contribute 52% of homicides, 78% of drug-related crime,
Adam, what's the line?
93% of Black murders, 70% of violent crimes.
Just give me a thumbs up.
And their per capita lifetime budgetary impact is negative
is really not something I think any of us want to
$750,000 each.
hear.
It's fine.
Thank you. Good night.
There you go.
The next speaker is Randall Fine. Randall, you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you and good evening, City Council. Wow, some of those calls, oh my goodness. Tonight, I would just like to share the founding story of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. It was established in 1913 to protect a Jewish child murdering pedophile named Leo Frank. Little Mary Fagan was about 10 years old when she went to go and collect her pay from her job at the pencil factory because, in 1913, we didn't have the appropriate child labor laws that we do have today. And as she went to go and collect her pay, Leo Frank decided to, bash her head in and rape her and murder her. And now Leo Frank, he decided that the best way to get himself out of this sticky situation would be to blame the local black janitor named Jim Conley. And this is in Georgia in 1913. And as you can expect racial epithets to be, there was not a very high value or opinion of African Americans. However, the Ku Klux Klan and the courts all sided with Jim Conley. So the town did what was right. They went and they gathered him up, strung him up from a tree, because that's what you do with pedophiles. You don't let them come around. So why is city council taking direction and information from, a non-elected organization that is founded by a 2% minority that was initially founded to protect a Jewish child murdering pedophile named Leo Frank? Any organization that takes direction from a company whose, initial founding is to protect somebody who rapes children should, maybe rethink what they're doing, who they're accepting money from, who they are accepting recommendations and advice from. I mean, it's already a travesty that we allow them to train our law enforcement and the FBI. I mean, it's sickening that we're allowing this small cabal of gangsters to control our entire nation. You get a bunch of African Americans together doing crime, it's a gang. You get a bunch of Italians together doing crime, it's a mafia. But when you get a bunch of Jewish people together doing crime, it's just a coincidence. How does that make sense? Why are they the only protected class in America? You are not allowed legally to criticize the Jews in most states. Look at the laws they've just passed in Georgia. Look
Just
at the
let me know
laws.
where the line is, Adam. We're at this again with another ridiculous commentary.
Jews, I'm being serious here.
The question
Okay.
is, how does this relate to any local issue?
It doesn't relate to any
The local issue is why is the city council taking direction and money from the
And
ADL?
it's got to be hate speech.
No, you guys definitely take
Any
direction
way
from the
you look at
ADL. I
it.
heard their
but we
script.
do.
I have a FOIA request. I know their script. I know that you guys are receiving direction from them. And I want the city to answer why that they are taking direction from an
Come on.
organization that was founded to fuck kids.
That's enough.
Language.
Nigger, 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 nigger,
Cut him
nigger.
off.
What a winner.
A wonderful demonstration of public comment. Is that unbelievably disgusting?
The next speaker is,
We could also take a break. Want to take a break? Would you like to take a break, or do you want to move the public comment to the end of the meeting?
Let's do that. If we can move public comment at this point, that'd be fine.
I move, we move public comment to the end of the meeting.
Figure out how we can do it.
Under the provision that information was received after the posting of the agenda. I move that we move public comment to the end of the meeting.
Motion made and seconded. Is the motion in order? Yes, as far as we
Yes.
know?
yes.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We will resume public comment at the end of the meeting. And again, I apologize for this.
Not your fault. Let's talk about something else.
We do have options to talk about other things. There's a couple of things on the agenda that actually matter. Council reports. Mr. Gatewood, you are up.
Wow.
How are you going to follow that is the question.
All right, well, happy Black History Month. We're one of the, woo! Wow. From one of the most diverse councils in the region, one that has Black and Indian on this. Wow, I didn't know we could do all that. That's Okay, so Black History Month is an annual celebration and achievement by African Americans and a long time for recognizing their central role in USA, also known as African American History Month and known as Negro History Week, a brainchild of Carter G. Woodson and other prominent African Americans since 1976. Ever since the U.S. president officially designated the month of February Black History Month. We celebrate Black history achievements all year long, but this is one of those months that we target for this community. At this point, I would like to talk about one of the most important Black history men in my life is my father, one of the first Black people to work at the San Juan School District. Brought in by General Davies, if you guys remember him. Most interesting story my dad has is they were at, I think it was San Juan High School, and my dad was on the soup kitchens because it was really bad times back then. And so they had to bring him in because they had a classroom full of African Americans and they didn't know how to control the students. They were losing their minds, they were being crazy. And my dad was off the job. Of course, he was a starving 20-something-year-old with disco pants and a big afro and a whistle. And he went into the classroom and they're like, can you do anything with these kids? And so my dad, being one of those guys, went in the room, said, sit down, shut up, and it's time to learn. And those kids took advantage of that. And he taught 42 years for the San Juan School District, including one of the few that went all the way to principal, seen a high school, and ended his career at Bella Vista. Amazing individual, and I can only say thanks to all the Black men that let me get to this position, and it was amazing. So thank you, and I'll have more stories at our next meeting. January, we have had the ITC committee that David put me on, me and Siri. Thank you for that extra work, David.
You're welcome.
There's so much technology going on right now. Siri and I started the IT Innovation Council. So the two of us sit with Micah and, of course, our amazing IT. And she, Rita, we are getting ready to do, you probably went to, thank you, Diane, for, of course, the Chamber of Commerce Business Outlook 2024. But our city is about to be one of the few cities that's been trained in AI technology. So we're getting ready to do all that stuff on the board for our actual city. So our citizens, Rita told me that the very large training should start in the month of February. So plan that everyone will have an AI assistant to help them be even more successful, and that we should start the actual training in the month of February, which would be amazing. So serious talk. The joint, a long time ago, when the city, when Rancho Cordova was the only city out here, and we started a school district, and we uplifted a neighbor district called Folsom, and became the Folsom Cordova School District, and helped them because they didn't have the numbers to start their own school. We basically blended in with us. We've now hit the limit to where it's now affecting our kids. And so my citizens took the time, and with us, we put together a report, and the report's back. It's not very good. And we've now hit a level to where we are discussing, is it time for the school district to basically separate into two, Folsom School District and Rancho School District. The report is blatantly obvious that it's hit that level, that the only way Rancho kids are going to even get to a better level is for separation. At least that's what I took out of it. And when we met, we have a 3-course where we met with the Folsom Cordova School District, the Rancho Cordova, City of Rancho Cordova, and the City of Folsom. And all three, including the school district, agreed that it's time for a separation. And they agreed that if Rancho Cordova was the one to put forth that that agenda item to start the separation, City of Folsom would pass something saying they supported it, and the school district would pass something saying they supported it. They just don't want the ones to start it. It's been a long path of hard-fought times. David will tell you how badly it's been for the city of Rancho Cordova as the partnership. But I believe that instead of pointing fingers at how bad it is, I'm going to point fingers at how good it's going to be when we start taking these steps in the right direction. So hopefully that's on an agenda item at a later date. We bring it, what James talked about it, we bring it before all my citizens, and we really have a long drawn out talk about what it means to be our own school district. Because once we do this, it'll be a lot of hard work. It's not going to be easy, but it'll allow Rancho Cordova, the city, to actually set its own direction instead of having the city of Folsom be able to set where Rancho falls. I met with the Sacramento Library Board. We elected 2 new people. to be the board and chair. Doug Brewer is in there, if you guys know Doug. And then I think it's Katrina Calamantes is doing it. Is the other one that's on there. Very engaged. Katie, very engaged. Love the library. Ever since Linda made it easy and got him out of bankruptcy, it's been an amazing experience. And so it's always good to see new people and new energy. And hopefully someday we'll actually have our own library. Fingers crossed. We also, let's see. Congratulations to Clutch. I met with River City Christian. They are going to turn that big plot of green as you drive by into a soccer fields for Rancho Cordova kids. So hopefully that we'll have our disadvantaged youth will be over there playing soccer. Went to the Metro thing. That was awesome. And then, of course, did the South Conservancy Sacramento JPA, which is another thing that Linda created and handed to me very nicely. It was awesome. But I did get to be in the picture when it started, so that's always the good part. And there's so much development going on, and we're trying to buy a whole bunch of land to make it contiguous. And I'm sure Linda will tell me all about the different swamplands we've now bought together so we can keep developing. And I think I have had a meeting or an event every other day of this week or for the last couple weeks, and it's been exhausting. And then great job to Neil's group, the STA Association that did the Kites Festival, even though we didn't order wind. And next time I will talk to God about the wind order. It was just perfect weather. I forgot to put the checkbox next to wind. So it was a kite festival without wind. Very exhausted kids as they ran to get those kites up. I didn't get that. Listen, that was when I checked bad weather, but wind. And hopefully everyone's feeling safe, and hopefully the power is slowly being turned on to everyone's community. Trust me, SMUD is working on it right now, and they are doing nothing but cutting down trees and putting up power. That's it. Oh, and one again, I am so sorry for the individuals that talk here. This is not an example, but what these guys are basically going around and saying all this crazy stuff, and they're making it so basically most cities except for Rancho, I think we're the last one that does let people call in. They make them come show up, and they never show.
Linda, you're up.
Well, first of all, we want to congratulate our Mayor David for an absolutely outstanding speech at the Cordova Community Council at the luncheon. He did a superb job, and there's no question that we are in good hands, in good leadership hands this year. As Garrett said, the Folsom Cordova Unified School District joint meeting with this district and Folsom was very interesting, and there will be lots to come out of that. We had a wonderful celebration of a new art exhibit here at City Hall, and I completely encourage everyone, before you leave tonight, wander the halls here on the first floor and look at the new art that is gracing the halls. And thanks to the Rancho Cordova Chamber for their economic outlook, we all know what an AI assistant is.
There you go.
See,
We're getting smart
I
by
did
the
learn
minute.
something. I'd like to just point out that our cinematographer, author friend, Bill George, has written a book about Sherm Shavor, the groundbreaking swim coach, and he is going to make a presentation about his book on the 21st of this month at 6 o'clock down at the History Center in downtown Sacramento, well, in Old Sacramento. And you can get tickets by calling, wait for it, 916-808-7059. And finally, I would ask that we adjourn tonight in the memory of a wonderful lady who was a city council member in the city of Sacramento, Lauren Hammond. And the reason we are doing that is the fact that Lauren Hammond was hugely instrumental in getting the incorporation vote to the ballot when she was doing her time on LAFCO. And David will remember, Shelley will remember, Kurt will remember If it really had not been for Lauren Hammond, that one pivotal night at LAFCO, we might never have made it to the ballot, and we owe her a lot. So I would ask that we adjourn in her honor.
That is a great suggestion on Lauren Hammond, who I think was the first African-American elected to the city of Sacramento council.
Elected, yes. There was a lady, Callie,
Appointed or?
Callie
Yeah.
Carney, I think, who was appointed to fill out a term, but
And
yes.
Lauren, at one point, she's a great person to work with, but we named her, what was the title we gave her? She was like the godmother of Rancho Cordova because we needed her vote on LAFCO in order to proceed. And
Yeah.
without her,
Yeah.
we were doomed.
Rebecca would remember.
Yeah. We gave her honorary citizenship. That's what we did. Early on, I couldn't remember it. That's it.
Our first
We made
and
her an
only
honor-
honorary citizen.
Yes, of Rancho Cordova.
Yeah, the story I had heard was she was the swing vote.
She was the swing
And
vote.
she was also the
She
one that
sure was.
decided on a lot of the undeveloped part.
She
Oh,
drew the
yeah.
lines.
Rancho Cordova to go
That
into the
map
city.
over there.
Right.
She kind of drew the line because she was the deciding vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the one that pointed one of the maps and like all of that that's in the county too.
That map over
Yeah.
there.
I will always remember those meetings.
Yeah.
All right, Donald.
Well, as the most recent mayor, well, I guess I wasn't. I'm sorry, never was. But this topic came up about the public commenters while I was mayor, and I was misquoted in the grapevine as personally doing away with Zoom, and I made a point at that time to say that we should keep it as long as we possibly can because it's a great benefit to those who can't come and attend our meetings in person. But what you heard tonight has been happening across the state. And like some of my colleagues have said, we are one of the last public governments that are still allowing the public to engage virtually. Unfortunately, it sounds like this may be one of the last times we get to do that because these people will continue to come back and tell, because none of them have the guts to come and stand here and say that crap in front of us.
It's like punishing everybody in the third grade because somebody screwed up.
Yep. So I apologize again for anybody that had to listen to that. And if any of the people that came here tonight to talk about whatever the hell that was around health are related to them in any ways, you're not welcome here either. But saying that, I'll start by first commending our staff as somebody who had to get up this morning and drive to a distant school to get my son to school. The county's road systems aren't doing so well this morning. And trying to go south out of Rancho Cordova is not the easiest thing if you need to use Grant Line or Florin or a handful of other places. Lots of downed trees, lots of flooded roadways. I'm sure if Albert was asked to give an update, we had our struggles last night too. Surprisingly, it wasn't nearly as much rain. It was just the wind that wouldn't let up. But I want to thank all of our staff that made sure that our roads and our sidewalks and other parts of the city were continued to remain accessible. I want to commend SMUD and all of their hard work that they've been doing, seeing lots of snapped power poles throughout the region, especially in the south. And hope that everyone stays safe as we continue to clean up from what happened over the last couple of days. Just a couple of things to report. So Air District met last month. Really of note, I would say, if you're not aware, the district listed their building downtown for sale. As the government that is supposed to be cleaning up the air, you can imagine they've really embraced remote working. So there's not a lot of people going into an office that's a 3-story building downtown. So they're looking to sell it, probably not at the best time to be trying to sell commercial properties downtown, but they are making the move towards doing that. We are still in check before you burn time, so please be cognizant of that. I did get to attend a portion of the SACOG meeting for David. Unfortunately, it was on my calendar for only about 2 hours, and I had things immediately after that I had to be at. So the hot topic that day was around tolling, which sounds like this was like the 35th hearing about this. Yet there are a whole bunch of members that were saying that this was being fast-tracked and they didn't have enough time to comment or understand the issue, which seemed really fascinating when they said how many times the staff had made these presentations. But this was essentially to talk about a toll corridor in the West Sacramento area leading into the causeway.
Over the causeway.
Yeah. is it over the causeway or leading into it?
It's over, it
Is
includes
it
the
through it?
widening of the causeway.
Okay.
And have a toll for the extra lane they would add.
Yeah, that would be dedicated, depending on how you looked at it, dedicated to investing in mass transit is what I think is what they were looking at. But how the entity would be formed and who would be members of it, and the state was basically asking for a seat at the table and why they would do it. But unfortunately, I couldn't stay to the point where they actually had the vote, so I think it moved forward. But that was a very weighty subject that sounds like has been in the works for quite a bit. That's all I got.
Very good. Vice Mayor Suri.
As well, happy Black History Month. Councilmember Gatewood and I are in multiple events this month, including the Metro Chamber annual event, the Rancho Cordova Business Outlook. The mayor did a great job at the Rancho Cordova monthly luncheon. I attended the India Republic Day event. There are multiple events, but I'm going to talk about two things that are close to my heart. I'll highlight two things that are close to my heart. One is technology. Councilmember Gatewood and I attended the first IT and Innovation Ad Hoc Council, and we are on the board for NLC's ITC committee meeting as well. And I learned at that meeting that there's an affordable connectivity program where there is a discount on home broadband services from participating internet service providers, and that deadline is getting done at Feb 7th, and we're working to see how we can extend that deadline and actually make it available for 2024 so more people can apply for this program, which gives discount to broadband services. The other one is education. We've all attended the Folsom Cordova joint meeting, which talks about the feasibility report. We did see a clear disparity between the two cities, and we're working on next steps to see how we can get the city to work on that program. The other one that I want to highlight is on the same day that we had the joint meeting, there was an Elk Grove community meeting that nobody from council could attend because it conflicted and it was on the same day. But we want to emphasize that we are aware of the situation on the Elk Grove School District. Like Councilmember Terry mentioned, he had to drive a long way to drop his kid to school, and that's something that parents are facing every day. It's a very long day for kids as young as 10 years going to middle school, and we want to make sure that we attend the next Elk Grove meeting that is in conjunction with the residents. Thank you.
12 years?
12 years old.
Ah.
The 10-year-old is still
You know, I don't know actually when I've been this mad recently. What we heard earlier was disgusting, reprehensible, awful. Those comments have nothing to do with Rancho Cordova, and I'm kind of happy with everyone's response in the room when it happened. Because we are one of the most diverse communities in the nation, and we have always been welcoming to everyone. And we certainly do not condone hate speech. We welcome all. So again, I apologize for that happening. It has been a very busy couple of weeks. I was very happy to go to an Eagle Scout ceremony for Gianni Ciappetti, who lives down south of Douglas. And you know, there's that pathway down there that crosses the preserve area and has a bridge on it. Gianni's Eagle Project, I don't want to slight any other Eagle projects because we have a lot of them in Rancho Cordova, but Gianni's Eagle Project was to put binoculars available to the public to use on that path.
I personally funded that project.
Yes, several of us donated to it. It was expensive and hard to do. You had to partner with the park district to get it done. But they're there and people are using them. And it is just, he's an outstanding kid. I have to admit, I've coached this kid. And he sent me one of those letters that all coaches would treasure, right? Or teachers would treasure, mentors would treasure. But he got his Eagle Scout for that project. I'm just really proud of him, and I'm really proud of the troop that he's in right here in Rancho Cordova. I've done some work with some athletes at Cordova High in the past couple weeks. I did the January address to the Community Council, which apparently had record attendance, Shelley tells me. I greeted the Vice President at the airport when she arrived. I was at the White House with the NLC a few days after that for briefings there. I spoke. No, but she wasn't there at the White House, so it didn't matter. I spoke to the state legislative league leaders in DC, so that was a lot of like state League of City Presidents and executive directors around the country. Spoke at the Business Outlook thing, so my vocal cords are definitely getting a workout in the past couple weeks. And I really want to thank city staff for the storm response. I was out making sure that some equipment at Cordova High was in good repair and taken care of during the windstorms that we've been through. And our city staff and SMUD staff and some county staff have done an outstanding job, RT staff, of keeping our roads mostly clear, to the point that I have not a single complaint from a constituent about it. And I was at a meeting today at SACOG where everyone around the table was saying how grumpy their constituents were about their local response to picking up limbs. And we certainly had a lot down, as I witnessed, but we have done a great job picking those up. So congrats to staff for your good work there. It's appreciated. Let's see. With that, I think we're going to go on to the consent calendar. City Manager, do you have any updates before consent?
Sure. So thank you, Mayor, and Mr. Terry, for the recognition of the staff and the storm response. There was a storm last night, and I think we started getting the calls around, 3 p.m., and they worked till about 4 a.m. last night trying to stay on top of the issues. So really thank you for the recognition for the team. And as it sometimes goes unsung of the work that's happening kind of in the background and responding to these situations as folks, both staff and contractors and other parties and other partners in the community are working to respond.
You know, I texted Micah yesterday and I asked him if Cyrus had left him the chainsaw. Because our former city manager, Cyrus, had been a public works director before that, and he's famous for during one of these storm events of pulling a chainsaw out of his trunk in the middle of Coloma Road and cutting up a tree as city manager.
Can I get a chainsaw?
I'm challenged to have Cyrus come and describe that story for us at some point in the
Well,
future.
when you said you didn't inherit the chainsaw.
He didn't give me the chainsaw.
I called Cyrus and said, "Where's the chainsaw?" It's probably city property. He said, "I'm more than willing to come back and use it."
Well, we'll call him
I got a
first
discretionary account. I will buy you a chainsaw. But I get one too.
So
Well, at least nobody needed a kayak this time.
Correct. So appreciate that, and as we weather the kind of storm over the next couple days. So real quick, just another good announcement is the community grant process is now open. So for those nonprofits and other areas of interest through our CEIF or Measure H funds to work on community grants, that process is now open. So looking for great ideas and process to give back to the community. So that is now before us in this timeframe. Over the next month, that will be open. And then last, our other application we have open is the Rancho Cordova Police Department Citizens Academy. So that application process is now open and through March 15th. And so if you want to find out more about that, you can go to the Rancho Cordova Police website. So those are my brief announcements. Thank you.
All right. With that, I think we're going to go on to consent calendar items. Consent calendar items consist of matters deemed routine and non-controversial by staff. Unless a member of the council wishes to pull an item for individual consideration, all items will be approved by one motion. Citizens wishing to address the council on any matter on the consent calendar may do so at this time by completing and submitting a speaker card to the city clerk or using the raise hand feature in Zoom. For items on the agenda, speakers will be called up to the podium by me at that point on the agenda. Speakers are encouraged to keep comments to 3 minutes or less and to state their name and community residence. Are there any items the council wishes to pull from the consent calendar?
I will move approval of items 17.1 through 17.4, but I think we have public comment on 17.4.
We do have public comment by Zoom. I don't know which item it is for, but I can ask the caller.
Okay, we can ask.
We did get a written comment on 17.4.
I don't know that I have that.
Just because we got an email doesn't make that a public comment.
No, I know that, but
Persephone's going to take a look real quick. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the Zoom caller, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak. Jeff?
And Mr. Mayor, may I just?
Can you hear me?
Just a moment, Jeff.
May I just suggest that the council has an unusually large number of people who may be here to speak tonight, and given the hour, you may wish to limit the length of public comment this evening as one tool to be sure that all of the folks who have gathered here to address the council on a number of items of business have the opportunity to speak before it gets too late, or the council would need to continue the meeting. You might consider limiting public comment to either 2 or 1 minute or 90 seconds as the council sees fit based upon the number of members of the audience who you see here ready to speak on other items.
Colleagues, do you have a preference?
1 or 2.
I hear 1 minute, I hear 1 minute, I hear 2 minutes, 1 minute. Okay, I think the ones have it. We will do an arbitrary rule change, or rule change at this point by the chair, for a 1 minute public comment.
And just for the record, that's pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.3.
So I'm going to go to Jeff, if that's okay, Mayor Sander, and ask what item he would like to speak under.
And I will just remind everyone, comments need to be on the topic at hand.
Jeff, are you there?
Can you
Which,
hear me, council?
Yeah, we need to turn the volume down. That is inappropriately loud.
Jeff, which item on the consent calendar, 17.1 through 17.4, were you interested in speaking to?
Would any of those be locked down?
Nope.
All right, next
Hang up.
speaker. That is not a topic.
We really need to figure out how to turn that down.
That's all the public comment that we have for the consent calendar.
Then I will move again for, to approve the consent calendar, item 17.1 through 17.4.
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
I'm going to ask Persephone really quick if she found something else for public comment.
Okay, I'll look. Maybe I wrote it down under the wrong thing.
City Clerk, you call the roll, please.
But we
Yes.
can get emails that.
Councilmember Budge?
Yes.
Councilmember Gatewood?
Yep.
Councilmember Terry?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Pulapati?
Yes.
Mayor Sander?
Aye. Vote is unanimous. Okay, we are going to move on to consent public hearing items. Consent public hearing items consist of matters deemed routine and non-controversial by staff. Unless a member of the council wishes to pull an item for individual consideration, all items will be approved by one motion. So I'm going to open the public hearing. Madam Clerk, public comment.
Yes. James Garcia. Following James Garcia, Helen Wellen Bashaw, and you'll have 1 minute.
Wow, 1 minute is kind of hard, but James Garcia, resident of Stone Creek, we really can't hear any of you speaking up there in the back. It seems like the half of the speakers over there are not working whenever we're speaking at the podium up here and you're speaking up there. With the callers on Zoom, we can hear loud as day out there, just to let you know.
They're screaming into their phones somehow. I
Yeah,
think,
but again,
yeah.
they're the only ones who are actually, we can hear out in those speakers out there. But as far as for this item, since every council member is allowed to appoint a planning commissioner, and then there's 2 at large, council members are able to actually pick and choose what they wish to use and get that influence, such as a architect, such as a developer. So needlessly putting on additional requirement as an advised requirement is kind of stacking the deck towards anti-favor of the public to be able to answer the questions that are the deep concerns of the citizens, as opposed to having all of them be a developer and developer friendly. Because when we come up and try to make our point of concerns, it's not always listened. It's like, oh, no, that doesn't make sense. So it just seems like you're stacking the deck one more time. So that's just my opinion and several others. Thanks.
Helen, welcome.
Hello, I'm Helen Wellen Bashaw. I live over on Tierra Grande. I agree with what James said. I believe that the Planning Commission should be people in the community that have a heart for the community, but don't have the special requirements that it seems like we're putting on them. They are the average citizen, and since each one of you pick and select the person, then you can go for what you want in the specialties, but I believe that the commission should be the average person. Somebody who's been involved in the community and knows the area they live in, and when we put certain things forward, when we have specialists on the commission, we are favoring the builder. Thank you.
Those are the speakers that I had for this item 18.1. In addition to this, Jim Garcia submitted a emailed public comment that's been distributed to the city council. It has also been made available to the public in a binder in the back of the council chambers, and it's been posted on our website. I am looking in Zoom, and we do have a caller, Sadie. Sadie, I'm going to go ahead and you'll have up to 60 seconds, 1 minute to speak. Sadie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to double check. This is item number 18, the consent public hearing item on the roll call vote. Am I on the right agenda item?
Yes.
I'm reading the agenda right off your website. I just wanted to say fuck niggers, fuck Jews, gas the cut, Hitler.
This is the mayor's giving you your initial advisement that you're off topic.
Yeah, but Hitler did nothing.
Off topic.
That's your second and final warning. Mayor, would you like to give her her second warning and cut her off?
That's the second warning. I think we're done.
Thank you. You have been removed from public comment for the duration of the meeting.
We have additional public commenters.
We take a 5-minute recess.
Oh, my God.
Okay, we are back. We are taking public comment on item 18. I am also going to open public comment on item 19. I'm sorry, 19.2. So 19.2, this is a little unusual, and 18.1, we're going to consolidate public hearing. You can both be heard at this time. And we are going to start with our
We're not going to have a discussion about the conduct of the meeting?
people on Zoom.
So I'm going to read the title for 19.
Wait, no, excuse me, point of order? We're not going to have a conversation about how we want to conduct the meeting?
We could have such a discussion.
Because I'm not interested in entertaining whatever the hell this is that's going on in Zoom. So,
Well-
if it includes taking those comments, I'd prefer to adjourn the meeting and come back when we don't need to take public comment by Zoom. I see no reason to give that. If the advice of the city attorney is to continue to entertain this, I'd rather just stop and come back when we're not doing that.
So
If there's not an option in between there where we have to listen to this, I don't want to have this meeting.
So we have opened item number 18. We can't walk away from 18. So we do need to continue with that item.
Why?
David, I'm not sure that.
Can
you
somebody explain to me why?
I don't think you opened the public hearing on that item.
We started taking public comment, but I see no reason that we are forced to listen to this.
It is a
Or if
public
we just
hearing.
re-agendize it and have a public hearing at a later date.
I'd be happy to answer the question
Okay.
if you'd like. You have already taken up public comment on the one item, so our recommendation is that you just complete that item before you either move on to other business or end a meeting. With respect to item 19.2, you'll notice that it was a protest proceeding, so you would potentially have to go backwards the full statutory notice period for that, which I believe was a 45-day notice, and potentially renotice that if you didn't just open it and continue it to the date certain of 2 weeks from now. The council can only continue its proceedings if there's a quorum of you who are participating in a meeting.
Okay, so for 18.1, with all due respect, I don't have to listen to your recommendation. So we don't have to finish item 18.1. We could come back at a later date.
That's correct.
Okay. So I move that we table 18.1 and the rest of the agenda. We can take up item 19.1 and continue that as well.
Second.
Instead of tabling it, wouldn't we just continue it?
That's what I said. Did I?
You did say table.
I meant continue.
If we do this course, there would be substantial cost to the city in process. And we also have numerous people in the room who have come to comment on 19.2, who we would certainly inconvenience. 19.2 requires a very specific series of actions.
Yeah.
And we do not have flexibility on it.
So if I'm not mistaken, the initial suggestion from the city manager's office was to just take up at least 19.2 to continue it to a date certain before taking an action to potentially adjourn the meeting.
Well, no, okay. So let me rephrase, because did I say 19.1? I meant 19.2. I meant the stormwater.
I know what you meant, yeah, 19.2.
Okay, so I'll move to continue 19.2 along with the balance of the agenda. Is that allowable? And would that save the staff the cost of?
We have to open the hearing on 19.2, take it up.
And if I just heard somebody correctly, it's a 45-day advertising period, so in order to do that, you'd have to re-advertise it for 45 days in the future.
Unless you opened it and continued the hearing to 2 weeks from today.
Oh, okay,
You can open it and continue it to a date certain.
okay.
Is that accurate? If we open it, we have to take public comment? We can't continue the item?
Yes.
Yes, we have to, or yes, we can't.
You need to take public comment if you open the item.
Which is why I'm attempting to merge it with 18.1, which we've already taken up and started.
Yeah.
So it's one round of public comment for the two items. All right, we'll continue.
So currently we are on 18.1. We are in the middle of public comment and we have 4 hands that are raised in Zoom.
Okay, I will advise again, any comment off topic, you will be removed from the meeting permanently.
And you're also on 19.2.
Also 19.2.
Would you read the title for 19.2, please, Madam Clerk?
The title for 19.2 is a public hearing to receive protests to the proposed Stormwater Utility 1 fee increase and a resolution to submit the question to a vote of the property owners for approval of the proposed Stormwater Utility 1 fee increase. The public hearing for 19.1 remained open from the previous meeting.
18.1.
Okay, public comment from Zoom.
We'll start with Kai. Kai, you'll have 1 minute to speak to the item on this agenda.
Kai's not there, next one.
Next speaker is Ursula. Ursula, you'll have up to 1 minute.
Not there. Next.
Not there, next.
So they're not here.
There were 2 people that were here. We could hear them in the lobby. Could you not hear them in this room?
We could not hear them in here. So they can be heard in the lobby, but they can't be heard in here.
Oh, darn.
Anyone turning in a comment card who's in the room for 19.2, you're welcome, even if you've already commented on 18.1.
And I would note, if we are having system difficulties with our telecommunications equipment, we should stop the meeting in order to ensure that anyone participating by Zoom has the ability to participate by Zoom. So that would be a reason why we might have to stop.
So this is a continuation of our previous problem, I presume. All right, we will again have a recess. Have we gotten our system to work?
We have the Zoom portion working.
All right. Public comment?
So we are, can somebody share? We're specifically, we have opened item 18.1. 19.1 is already open from the previous meeting, and we also have opened public hearing for 19.2. Is that correct, Adam?
No, 19.1 is not open for public discussion. Only 18.1 and 19.2 are.
Okay.
19.1 remains open from our previous meeting.
But you did not call to.
I did not call item 19.1, but to facilitate public comment, should we add it to the list?
You're not going to take action on it tonight, is my understanding, Mr. Mayor. That would not move the ball forward.
Well, we could take public comment on it and take action on it? All at the same time to facilitate public comment?
I wouldn't suggest that.
I don't think that's a good idea.
That would be legal.
All right, we're going to continue with 18.1 and 19.2 public comment.
Okay. So we'll start with, we've already gone through 18.1. We have a number of hands that are raised for 18.1 in Zoom. 19.2, I have a public speaker card for that. Do we want to take the speaker card for 19.2?
We'll hold that one to be last.
Okay. All right, we'll go to Zoom and we'll start with Phil. Phil, you'll have up to 60 seconds.
Yeah, before you claim you can't hear me, we know you guys think you're slick pretending that you can't hear the
Phil,
previous
you've
two
already
callers.
been
You just
banned
opened
from
yourself
this
up to
meeting
two.
for inappropriate actions and disrupting the meeting, so you are cut off and banned for the evening. Thank you. Next speaker.
The next speaker is Hank. Hank, you'll have up to 60 seconds.
Yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Hank, I recognize your voice. You've already been banned from this meeting tonight for inappropriate action and disruption. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Kai. Kai, you'll have up to 60 seconds.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
We can.
Awesome. So the stormwater utility fee, as a homeowner here in Rancho Cordova, I'm totally that increasing any fees is quite Jewish, just like that faggot trying to shut down the
Kai,
meeting.
we've already heard from you this evening. You've been banned for inappropriate action before and disruption. You are banned for the rest of the evening. Next speaker.
Borwin. Borwin, you'll have up to 60 seconds.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah, I'm against any more stormwater fee increases.
I think if we would utilize spending our money in better ways and not always increasing fees and taxes would be more reasonable. It seems like taxes are just constantly going up, gas prices are out of control, so it would really be difficult for me as a citizen here in Rancho Cordova to be able to continue to feed my family with all you nigger kike loving faggots here.
He is already banned from previous disruption. Any more public comment?
We have a hand raised from Kai, who already spoke.
All right, we've been through all of our Zoom public comment. We have one public comment from in the room.
We have Rudy is also on Zoom. Rudy?
Hi, my name's Rudy. Fuck niggers. Fuck.
Ruby, you have already been banned for inappropriate action at this and disruption at this meeting.
And we have Matthew.
Yeah. My name is Matthew. I have a comment for 19.2. I can't afford any more rate increases, and you guys are
Matthew, you have been recognized already this evening for disappropriate action, so you are cut off from this meeting.
Those are all the public comments that we have via Zoom. I do have a speaker card for 19.2.
Okay, an actual resident for 19.2.
And that is it Yuri?
Come on up, Yuri. You get to follow all of that. I'm terribly sorry.
All I can say is I'm speechless. I don't think a 3-minute thing should be cut down to 1 minute over insane commentary online. But anyways, this over 100% increase in fees seems quite outrageous, quite inappropriate. I don't think anybody's wages in this room or anybody in Rancho Cordova have increased by 100%. So why should we have a over 100% increase in these taxes? This will set a precedent for other taxing agencies that already tax us significantly. There should be an online option to fill out these things, not by mail. There are a lot of people that have not received these things in the mail. There are daily issues with people not receiving their mail, or with mail theft going on every single day that you'll see online people talking about. And with last night's disaster, I'm sure some people could not have been here because they're probably trying to get their dog and their fence fixed just to, get by for the night. So I don't think this fee increase is appropriate.
Please wrap up your comments.
Yeah, I believe it's also a short time frame that you guys are allowing for this to take place. There should be at least 6-month or so time frame for this.
Sure. Thank you for your comment. Staff, you could comment further on this item, but we are following a really rigid state law on how these matters are handled. All the dates are fixed in state law. The response times are fixed in state law. The entire process is fixed in state law, and we are following that.
Okay, but let me ask a question though, because the issue tonight is to send it out for a vote by people. So this isn't the final decision to adopt this. It's going to a vote for Prop 218 or whatever.
We do have additional speakers in the room who want to speak on this item.
And I believe.
We've already heard, in the room?
Yes.
Yes.
And I believe the earlier.
Knowing it's not
motion
our
is
intention to
move
take
this
action
item
tonight.
2 weeks. That's right.
Right.
So we're going to take this up again in 2 weeks, or there was a motion already to
Right.
do that. I don't think it's been voted on yet, but there was a motion.
And
to
I'd like to call the question on.
But that is correct, as far as the next.
I'd rather hear, I would rather hear public comment from people who've been waiting here than hurry to get out the door because a motion's been made.
So James Garcia would like to come forward, Helen Wellen-Bashaw. And I'd just also like to acknowledge that Jim Garcia submitted a written emailed public comment for this item.
Well, thanks again for hearing me. James Garcia, Stone Creek. In the past, I've been in favor of this because, again, our infrastructure is in dire need. But thinking more along the lines of what's been happening, I see that we have been taxed an awful lot. The general fund would be a better source for this because, again, the populace has already been outpaced by what they can actually earn, such as Golden State Water's already increased their fees significantly. PG&E is increasing theirs because of repaying all the fire lawsuits that they've had to deal with, and other county fees have increased. So the people on fixed incomes are already having a hard time paying for things. It would be in the city's best interest to go ahead and find some creative ways to go ahead and find this and add it to the general fund, so that way everyone else can reap the benefit of our hard-earned taxpayer, which is supposed to be designed for infrastructure and other means within the city. Instead of having to move a building for a freeway on-ramp or a baseball field or civic center that appears to be kind of almost like the bullet train to nowhere, we should be able to have a way to be able to fund this. Thank you.
Helen? No. Okay. That's all the public comment that we have for,
No other cards in the room for these two items?
there's no other cards in this room for those two items.
All right. Sorry, it was really loud up here with the speakers. All right, so we have item 18.1 that is open. I need to close the public hearing on that item, which I will do. Public hearing is closed. Is there a motion on 18.1?
And the requested motion is to waive the first reading and introduce the ordinance on 18.1.
If you made that, I missed it. But we'll take that as a motion.
I
Is there
made a motion
second?
to continue both of those items, 18.1 and 19.2, I believe, and it was seconded by Mr. Gatewood.
19.2, is that a continuation?
Yes, 19.2, if you would be a request to continue to the date certain of 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay, but we also
I'm
need
sorry,
to,
it would be 2 weeks and 1
we also
day
need to
from
close the
tonight.
public hearing on 19.2. Is that the only other process we need for
Next
that?
regularly scheduled meeting.
Yes.
All right, I will close the item 19.2, that public hearing.
19.2, the public hearing and the protest proceeding would stay open on 19.2.
So the protest hearing stays open on 19.2. All right, anything else we need to do on these two items?
Vote.
If not, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
So to restate the motion, thank you, Councilmember Terry. We are continuing item 18.1 and 19.2. That was your motion.
For starters, yeah, we'll have another motion here in a sec, but
Thank you.
let's vote on that.
Okay. Roll call is Councilmember Budge.
Yes.
Councilmember Terry.
Aye.
Councilmember Gatewood.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Pulapati.
Yes.
Mayor Sander.
Aye.
And that's to the 20th.
To the next regular meeting. I'd like to move that we continue the balance of our agenda to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second.
Could we consider doing that in a week as opposed to our next scheduled meeting? Given to the volume of work we've got in front of us?
I would suggest the clerk could poll the council and see if we're available and see if we can find a time.
So to a date uncertain.
I don't have my calendar in front of me for that.
So it'd be date uncertain, if that's.
Second.
If that's acceptable.
If we can find a date.
Otherwise, it will be February 20th,
Okay.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. Councilmember Terry made a motion. Councilmember Budge, second. Roll call. Councilmember Budge.
Yes.
Councilmember Terry.
Aye.
Councilmember Gatewood.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Pulapati.
Yes.
Mayor Sander.
Aye. All right, we are going to adjourn tonight in memory of Lauren Hammond, an honorary citizen of Rancho Cordova who was responsible for a critical step in our incorporation. With that, we are adjourned.